Good morning, students. Today I am going to discuss this poem, Lines Written in Early Spring, written by William Wordsworth, with you. Before we delve deep into the explanation of this poem, I shall like to tell you about the prevailing conditions of those times when this poet decided to write this poem. It was the time of French Revolution, when there was a great turmoil and political unrest. People were killed mercilessly and unnecessarily by the people who were in the power. So men were not considered as men anymore, and this fact pinched the heart of this poet. So, being very sensitive to all these kind of emotions, this poet decided to write this poem, Lines Written in Early Spring. So, let's see the explanation. I heard 1,000 blended notes while in a grove I sate reclined, in that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. So the poet is saying, I heard 1,000 blended notes. He is saying that while he was sitting and enjoying the nature, he heard so many natural sounds. The sounds, they would be the chirping of the birds, they would be the sounds of the nature, it would be some insects, any sound you can call. Whenever you sit in the nature, you listen to so many sounds. While in a grove I sat reclined. So he is saying that when he was sitting under the trees, there were a group of trees, and he was reclining over there. Reclining means he was sitting and enjoying the company of the trees in that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. And while he was enjoying his sweet mood over there, it was a happy moment for him. And suddenly, one sad thought struck his mind. And that sad thought was that what is going on in this world? To her fair works did nature link the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. So in this para, the poet is saying that nature and human beings, they are linked to each other. The soul inside the human beings is very much in tune with the nature. Both nature and human soul, they connect with each other very easily. They are the part of each other. Without nature, human being is nothing. Without our soul, the nature never preaches anyone. There is no one to preach. So both are connected. And much it grieved my heart to think. And while he was thinking about all these things, his heart grieved, it saddened to think that what man has made of man, that what we people have made of each other, what do we do with other men? We never feel happy to see somebody else happy. When somebody else is sad, we feel pleasured. When somebody is hurt, it makes us happy. So this is what man has become. God never thought or made us like that, but what we people have made of each other. So this is the character of human being now. So during those times when this poem was written, it was quite evident that men were killed mercilessly without any reason. There were some political benefits by the powerful people. So in order to settle down their thirst of power, men were killed. So that influenced the poet to write this poetry. And he is completely saddened. He is grieved that the life of human being has no value in today's scenario. So he is saddened by this fact. Then he thought, primrose tufts in that green bower, the periwinkle trailed its wreaths, and it is my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. Now the poet says, through primrose tufts, primrose is a type of flower, and tufts are the the green bed where the flowers grow. In that green bower is a kind of shady place under the tree. Where he was sitting, he was enjoying that greenery, and he was looking at the primrose flower. The periwinkle trailed its wreaths. The periwinkle is also another type of flower, and trailed its wreaths. It also was growing, or it had grown in such a way that it was circular. So, two types of flowers the poet talks about in this poem, and it is my faith that every flower enjoys the air it breathes. Now, while he was looking at those flowers, and he was of this idea, he was pretty convinced that every flower enjoys the air it breathes, that every flower enjoys the nature in which it grows. The birds around me hopped and played. Their thoughts I cannot measure. Not only the nature he was talking about, he was talking about birds as well. The birds around me hopped and played. Now he saw certain birds, sparrows, or some other birds. They were sitting and jumping around him while he was enjoying the shade of the nature. So there he looked at the birds. Their thoughts I cannot measure. Then suddenly he thought that the birds, he cannot measure their thoughts. Whatever the birds are thinking, he cannot speak on that, or he cannot comment on that. But the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. But he is observing every movement of the birds, and he is saying that the birds enjoy every movement when they are in the company of nature, and it fills him with thrill. He is excited to see the movement of the birds, because birds are completely enjoying the nature, and while looking at those birds, he is also enjoying. He is lost. He has escaped from this merciless world into the world of nature, which gives him some rescue. The budding twigs spread out their fans to catch the breezy air. Now he talks about those twigs, those budding twigs, those plants which have yet not given birth to the full-fledged flower. It is just in the birth state. It's very small. It has just popped up on the branch. So yet the flowers are not yet fully grown to catch the breezy air. The flowers, once they grow up, they will also catch the breeze. They will enjoy the air. And I must think, do all I can that there was pleasure in there. And while looking at all those scenes, he thinks that everything that grows in nature enjoys nature. But we people have forgotten about this thing. We have also been grown by the gods in this nature. The nature has been given to us by the God where we survive, but we have forgotten to enjoy these bounties, the gifts that nature gives us. We people have forgotten. So that's why the poet is sad. All the other things made by God, which are the part and parcel of nature, enjoy the very nature, except human beings. We have forgotten to enjoy that part. Next he says, if this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament what man has made of man? So he is saying that if this is the plan of God, this is the plan of nature, that he set everything in the nature. He gave birth to everything to enjoy the nature. If it was the plan of the God, so, and we have forgotten all those things. So isn't the poet right at this moment that he is crying? Isn't his cry reasonable? It's all true that we have forgotten this nature. What we have made of each other, we all know. So isn't it true of the poet to cry that what man has made of man? So it's an appeal by this poet to every human being to return back to nature and adapt ourselves to it. We shall forget about all our miseries. We shall forget about all the bads of our life. We shall not harm each other. Rather, we shall be happy to see others happy. This is what he appeals to us through this poem. So this poem comes to an end with this note. I hope you have understood it well. Thank you very much and keep doing the good work. Thank you.